talk radio station, Sports Hour, the England Roger Sports Hour. It's a good Saturday here. Well, not so good, Roger, because it's raining.
Yeah,
But
it's a wonderful day of blessings, I would say,
yeah,
of heavy rain showers. But yes, it's a little dark outside.
yeah, a little dark outside, and it's supposed to stay that way most of the day, but
I'm hearing that.
hopefully it gets a little brighter somewhere along the way, or even tomorrow, but
Yeah.
still, as you said, showers of blessing.
Yes, yes, and then just looking forward to have. If it's a rainy day, then maybe it's going to be a quiet day, which can be an awesome day. So let's see how that one goes. But
Mhm.
sunshine
Yeah,
will come, as you said, if it's tonight or tomorrow, or this evening or tomorrow. It's on
and
its way.
if it's quiet, it's good because I mean you get to stay in and watch all the sports and
Watch all
cricket.
the sports. There's so much going on here. I can't even keep up anymore. But
Yeah,
it's playoffs time, as you know,
it's playoff time
and
on the
then
basketball playoffs and
hockey
the NBA.
playoffs. The
Yeah,
baseball is getting up to speed now. You got
yeah,
track and field. You got cricket. You got Formula One racing. You got everything going on at one time.
yeah. There's so much going on, and
There
I
is.
think we can probably just touch on the basketball and mention how the series are going so far. Any surprises to you there, Roger? In
You
the
know what?
basketball playoff?
I would actually say no. I
Mm.
think it's sort of going as I expected. I think on the east side, Philly is destroying Brooklyn. They're three up.
Yeah,
I sort of expected that. I mean, the Hawks, I don't know what happened. How comes Trey Young pushed them to a victory last time? But I think the Celtics are going to overall beat them. I think when Giannis comes back, the Bucks are going to just destroy the Heat. But for now, they're battling. The the tournament that I think is going to be interesting is the Knicks Cavaliers because I think those two are evenly matched. Knicks are up 2-1, but I
two
think
one. Yeah,
that's the one that may go all the way. I think the others are going to end in 4 or 5. Well, 5. Philly's going to probably end in 4, although Embiid is not playing the next game. But yeah, I think in general, not a lot of these are going to pass 5, except the Bucks and I mean the Knicks and the Cavaliers.
not even the Lakers and the Grizzlies. Lakers just had a lucky day on the first day, maybe on the
And
break.
and you know what, they're struggling with injuries as well because as
Yeah,
LeBron and Anthony Davis are listed as day to day. J.A. Morant is also listed as day to day, but that is a tough series because I think they're sort of the average ones in this thing here. So
yeah, correct.
the Denver, you see them destroying Minnesota up 3-0, and I think initially I believe the Clippers and Suns would have been the best series, but with the Clippers going down with injuries to Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, not so
Yeah,
sure anymore. But I thought the Clippers would have been winning that one, and Denver winning, and those are the two that would go through, and then the others would just sort of keep it competitive. But the Kings and the Warriors, that sort of surprised me a bit as well, because the Kings looking like they were going to go 3 up, but
3 up.
as you know, the Warriors. That's why they're called the Warriors. Look out for them. Look out for
Yeah,
them.
for sure. Some good games actually so far, and
Yes, yes, they
yeah,
are.
except for, but the teams that are expected to do well, I think, are
Yeah,
gonna ended up coming up on top and
exactly,
just go right through and they
exactly.
fall.
I don't think there's going to be any major surprise. And the two that I said, the Lakers Grizzlies and the Knicks Cavaliers, I think it goes anyway for those two, but then it doesn't really matter because they're going to get beaten the next round, in my
In the next
opinion. So,
round. Yeah,
but I mean,
exactly.
good for them to get to the next round, but I think they're going to get stopped right there.
Yeah, it's probably gonna get stuck for real. But if Lakers go through, I don't think they're healthy enough to
Yeah, they're
be
not strong enough, and the talent
anything. No.
is not deep enough to carry them too far. So, and I think they'd be up against Denver, maybe, who is probably just going to run over them. So,
Yeah, for sure.
gonna be interesting. But I mean, what sort of interested me in the basketball world? I mean, Ingle, although it's not a playoff issue, was Nick Nurse.
McNair's getting fired. Yeah.
Yeah, like what
After-
is going on here? This man took you to the promised land. What is happening here? But I think Masai Ujiri is saying he was not
Hey,
inspired, and didn't like watching the team. He didn't feel they were together. So he fired the man that got him to the promised land. So
yeah, he said it's time for a reset. I mean, he's been here for 10 years, Nick Nurse. So maybe, business world is this. After a certain
yeah,
amount of time, they said it's time to move on, look for someone else, get
yeah,
different blood in there. 5 years as coach, couple
yeah.
some years as assistant, some in the
Assistant,
office. Yeah,
yeah.
so I think a jury, he's not afraid to make the decisions,
Yeah. Give him credit for that. He watched to see
Yeah,
what was going on. He didn't jump and make a rash decision. I'm sure he thought about it, and he said the team just were not there together
Yeah.
this year, and he wasn't inspired watching them. So he put the team together. He had expectations, and I will admit, I mean, I've been to a couple of games and I've watched it a couple of times. The team didn't seem like the team of previous years, I must say. They looked scrappy, more scrappy than I thought they would have looked. I think players sometimes were just not there mentally, which I think was his biggest asset, was that he could have them locked in for the entire game.
Right.
But I realized this year they were not locked in a lot, and they struggled. I mean, even the game that they lost to the Chicago Bulls, how on God's earth did they lose that game? I'm still blown away. They were up by 19,
Mm-hmm.
and you lose, right? You know,
You
previous
lose.
years in a Nick Nurse team, that would never happen to them because they were so locked in. If they started making a move at them, they would get together and shut down the other team. But they didn't shut them down. And Chicago, who
Mhm.
is nothing great, nothing to talk much about, beat them.
That's
So
so
maybe,
true.
maybe that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Who knows?
Maybe, who knows? A bit of a surprise to me too is that Pascal Siakam was voted as one of the most overrated players by his peers.
He is.
Yeah. Is
He's
it that he's
talented. He's
makes him sell
talented.
himself well or what?
Well, I think he got hyped up, and I mean
Yes.
Kawhi helped a lot with that. But I personally believed he was put in a position to take them to the over the finish line, and
Mm.
he's not that good to do that. And I
No,
think
he
that was the
doesn't.
challenge that he ran into. That he had talent and he could score some points, but he's not a superstar like he was made out to be.
That's so true.
But he's a nice guy. I love
Very
him to
nice
death,
guy.
and I think he's great for the city.
Right.
So I love having him around. But I don't think the expectations that they threw on his shoulders was a little too much. And see, now it comes back to bite him because people are expecting great things, and now he's being called overrated.
Yep.
When I think he's normally he's just a good player, not a great player.
What a great player. Yeah, for sure. Other playoffs going on in the NHL and our
Oh,
beloved Leafs. So you know
oh my God,
every year we say this is the year, but they bounced back big in the second game.
Ingle.
Went
I mean,
7-2.
don't shoot me when I tell you this, but I
Mm.
think of the last, what is it, 15 years or how many years now, or 17 years, I think this is the closest they're going to get to being the team to go
Mm.
to the finals.
Oh, okay.
They have the talent, they have the grit, they have, and the coaching seems to be there as well, but they have the leadership on and off the ice. Tavares is a good leader. So I believe they're going to take down Tampa. Tampa is not the same Tampa from previous years.
Some favorites,
I
yeah.
think they're going to take down Tampa. I'm fairly confident in that. But going forward after that, I mean, going up against
It's
like
gonna be
Boston and
tough.
all of that, you never know. But the toughness is there. The talent is there.
Right.
It sort of reminded me of the Detroit '98 team, where you had when they got Shanahan, who is now so happens to be the man in charge.
Yeah. Hmm.
When they got him to come over with the toughness that they required to take them over the line again, and he did that. So they've got a couple of people that they've brought in the last few months that I think can help them with that playoff experience, grit experience. They got people to come out there and just fight. So they got the goons as they call them out there now. So I think they have the tools. I'm not so sure about goaltending, which is a huge thing, but I think the talent is there for them to go really far this time. And I mean, I told a couple of people that I was sort of glad that they got kicked out of the stadium game one because
Right.
it woke them up.
To
It
work
woke
them
them
up.
up, right?
Yeah.
So, they understand now this is not a joke. This is not a game. They have to go and play to win every time. And I think you're going to see them more locked in going forward. And as I said, that defeat was good for them. But like the stats always tell you, the man who wins game three is the man that takes it the series. So let's see if they
Well,
win.
tonight, yeah,
If they win
tonight the
tonight,
puck, yeah, the puck drops at 7. So
and I think they're going to win. But I
let's
think it's
see.
going to be a close game. It's not going to be a blowout. I think this is the game that is going to be the character building game. So I think they're
Oh,
going to actually win this game, maybe 3-2 or 3-1 or something like that. And then you're going to say, okay, they are for real.
the Leafs
So
are for real.
let's see. I don't know if you agree with me that they're that good this year, but what are
They're
your
good.
thoughts?
I think they're pretty good this year, and I'm expecting them to go. I didn't think they'll get to the finals, as you're saying, but I'm pretty thinking that they'll probably get a bit deeper than they normally. Well, they've been out in the first round most of the
All,
time, not all the
since
times, always.
2004. So
Yeah, so if they get anywhere past the first round, is an achievement. So,
yeah, but they
and
need more
but
than that.
I think they do have the formula, the team, to go pretty far this year for sure.
And I think when they look at it, if this team doesn't get to like a championship game, it's going to be broken up.
Yes, it will
It's
be.
going to be
It's
destroyed.
gonna,
So,
yeah,
and I think they put it together to win this year. So I think they're banking on them to go far this year, and I believe they will. I
yeah,
really do this year.
yeah. And
I can't imagine what is going to happen downtown, but that's a whole other
downtown, oh
conversation.
wow, yeah, I know. Especially if they win it at home, wow, it's gonna be
Oh,
crazy because the fans from
oh,
the game and the fans outside, yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna
to
be
be
crazy
nuts. I mean, I think they'd have to shut down Toronto for 2 days.
for a couple. Yeah, for sure, definitely. One of the things we'd like to talk about is Formula One, and an interesting thing has happened at Mercedes because they've brought back the past technical director, James Allison.
Yeah,
So and they've done some serious upgrades from what
they
reports
have.
are saying.
They
Yeah,
have. It's an interesting year for them, I think, because the two drivers seems to be fighting each other. The Mercedes team themselves seems to be. I don't know if they're giving up on Lewis to say at the end of
yeah,
the year you're gone or something. I'm not sure exactly
seems
what is
that
going
way.
on there. Yeah, they don't seem to be backing him. Lewis seemed determined to just do his own thing then and say, like, forget you guys, I'm going to do my own thing,
Yeah,
which is interesting to see. But I mean, they have made significant improvements. And I think after the last race, they're now saying, maybe Red Bull is not as far away as we thought.
as we thought. Yeah,
They're in reach.
maybe yes. And yeah,
Hopefully.
Lewis seemed to be thinking, well, I think maybe he's talking to other people, and that's how
Yeah,
I
I think
believe.
so too. I think so
Yeah,
too. And then I think the guy that sort of broke it was saying, you know what, I should not have done that because you know, no, it's affecting everybody
it
because
is.
it's
Yeah,
sort of clear that he's not going to be signed by Mercedes at the end of the year. What's going to happen to him? So,
yeah.
but I don't think he wanted that distraction in the middle of the season or at the start of the season. So,
No, you don't want that for sure. So yeah, we'll talk some like back on the track next week.
yes, yes,
Yeah. So next week, the last week the Chinese was cancelled, but they're on the track in Azerbaijan
yep,
next week on the 28th. So we look forward to seeing that. Um,
absolutely.
some tennis, Roger. Djokovic, what's going on? He just got beat by the number 70th ranked player. Is it a bad sign for him on the clay, or what is it?
No, you know what though? He's out of the Serb Open here, but he says his elbow is not in his words, not in ideal condition.
Hmm.
So he's carrying an injury, which I think is bothering him, and I'm not sure why he's playing if he's injured. But
If he's injured, he should
yeah,
relax.
he
Yeah.
should not be playing and getting this type of beating from a unknown.
Unknown, yeah.
It's a fellow Serb. Don't get me wrong. So maybe he's saying, maybe I can be beaten by my countryman. But at the end of the day, this should not be happening to the number one in the world. So he needs to take a break, get ready for the French.
Yeah, he should. And Nadal said he's not coming back until he's 100% fit, so we may
Which is
have
the approach
some.
that he should take. I mean, which is
Yeah.
what Djokovic needs to look at too. And Nadal is trying to do the right thing.
Hmm.
But I think, as the French Open tournament director Amelie Mauresmo says, it's hard to imagine the championships taking place without
Again,
Rafael Nadal. So I believe he's saying, I don't think I'll be ready. She's
yeah,
saying, you better be there.
you better be
So
there.
I don't
Fix
know what he's going to
yourself.
do. I don't
Whatever you do, just get ready, be there.
exactly. Get yourself ready, buddy. You don't
Yeah,
sit back and say you're not well. Find a way to get well.
yeah,
They
for
need it.
sure.
They
They
need it.
need it.
And it would be huge for him to be there. But I can get his point. I mean, just like how we just talked about Djokovic, is are you going to play at 70% and get some young kid from
Yeah, and
nowhere to
I mean,
beat
he's
you?
not young. He's 36, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's a little harder as you may know,
as you get
Ingle.
older.
As you
Yeah,
get
for
older, it
sure.
gets a little more
It's
difficult.
tough and tough. Like
The mind
sometimes
will tell you you can do
you
all
can
these
do
things,
it,
but
but
the body is like, oh my God,
yeah.
no, no,
And
no.
you start to feel pain in places you didn't know, man.
You
That's
had
about
some
the
there's some muscles there that you had
muscles
no
you
idea you
no
had.
idea. Yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
that's what's
for
hitting
sure.
some of them right now. So we'll see.
On the
We'll see.
women's side in Stuttgart, one semifinals finish. Sabalenka, she beat Potapova this morning 6-1, 6-2.
Cool.
Currently playing another rematch. These two have been meeting each other for so much. So
Quite
Swiatek
yeah.
and Jabeur. And
Yeah.
Swiatek is up 1-0 first, just started.
Yeah,
And she
I
broke
think
her
Swiatek
serve.
is back. I think Swiatek is back. But let's see if she can come through and win the actual game. But I think she's back. I think it's going to be a Swiatek Sabalenka final again. But
It's gonna be an interesting finals because I was watching the game earlier with Sabalenka, and she looked in good form.
yeah, she's in great shape.
Yeah, she
Really,
looks in
really
good
great shape.
form. So it's gonna be an interesting finals to
You
see.
definitely, because even if Jabor gets there, it's still going to be a very good final. Because I think Jabor is just, I don't know, she needs to find a way to become better than she is to become number one. But I think she's always been second fiddle to Swiatek whenever they meet.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, that's the things that other sports that we follow, and
And one more thing, I think
go
Alcaraz
ahead.
is on his way in Barcelona.
Yes, he is
Yes,
actually. You're
yeah.
right. Yeah,
I
he
think he's, as I said, when he's out there, they're saying what is his weakness? He doesn't have a weakness, but
he
he's
doesn't
still not
have.
a dominant number one. So I want to see him
That's
win
true.
here. I think he's going to go up against Rooney again, but let's see how he does. But I need to see him become a dominant number one the way they are. He's another one with the expectations of how great he is.
Hmm.
Soon they're going to say he's overrated, just like Pascal Siakam. So let's see if he can really prove to the world that he is as good as they say he is.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing Evans in the semifinal shortly because Sister Pass won his semifinal match just finished a while ago. So
Okay.
he's coming up against Evans. Alcaraz is just about to start.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's gonna be interesting as you said to see. I don't see his weaknesses, but he just don't win everything. And
Exactly. People
yeah,
figure out how to beat him. It's like,
people
okay, if
yeah,
you're that good, how comes they're figuring out how to beat you?
and Felix seemed to have his number at
Oh
some.
yeah, yeah. I think he's
Yeah,
like 5 out of 6 with him. So
yeah,
let's see.
yeah. So we'll jump on some cricket, Roger, and I don't know. I don't want to talk about. I don't like to think of matches have been fixed. Oh, what is it? But
Oh no, you can't go down that road.
I don't want to say it's fixed, but I can't see how a team so good as Lucknow Super Giants um, chasing 135, 36 for victory, 102, 106 for two in the 15th over and lose the match without getting bowled out. It's just a little, a little
Well,
surprising.
I don't know. We'll probably have to type that into Chat GPT to ask what happened.
Yeah, we probably,
Because
probably
that,
will
that
have
doesn't
to.
make any sense at all. that's not
And
that's not reality.
no, and the captain, Raul, who was there from the start, he was looking so good, and
Good.
he got 50 in like 30 balls, and then he ended up at 68 and 61. So all of a sudden, he just fell off. And
Stop batting. He stopped batting.
yeah, it's
It's what in a T20 that is not even. It's unheard of. Something
yeah,
something changed.
30. Yeah, I mean, they're saying that the bowlers came on and bowled brilliantly, but
But
come on, you know,
brilliant, eh?
yeah. So
Uh,
it's just
something not right.
surprising,
Something
you
not
know.
right there.
Yeah, just surprising to see that, 'cause especially they're second in the tables and looking very good. So
Good. Yeah, yeah,
no surprises. But anyway, good Titans. Good for them. Happy for them to win. Pandya and his boys, they won the
yeah,
game,
yeah.
and they are now from that. I think they've gone up into third place. Are they? Let me just check. I think they're moved up to. No, actually fourth place.
Fourth.
Chennai Super
Okay.
Kings is in third by run rate. All
Oh,
of them have 8 points, but the run rate is the difference
yeah.
there. And the other game that just started is Mumbai Indians and Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings are batting first, and they are 36 for one in 4 overs, so they're motoring along
Hmm.
quite nicely.
That's what 9 and over. That's a good way to
Yeah,
start.
good way to start. Yes, for sure. And it's Singh is on 19 and 12 balls. Short just got out, Matthew Short. So yeah, and I don't know if you watched the games recently, but Mumbai Indians, Sachin's son is playing for them,
I
Arjun
noticed that.
Tendulkar,
I
and he's
noticed that.
opening the ball, and
Yes,
yeah, so there's a lot of attention on him. But
a
he's done
lot.
well so far, actually.
He
Yeah,
stood up. I mean,
he
when you
stood
come
up.
in as a young man with your dad as famous as he is, it's
Yeah,
difficult. But you know what? He seems to be charting his own course, which is awesome to
you
see.
seem, yeah, and it's kind of surprising because when you get into cricket and following in your dad's footsteps, you'd think that he would want to be a batsman, like how great his dad was. You'd think his dad would teach him more to bat, but he's turned out to be more of a bowler.
he probably did want to be a batsman, but then he probably thought about the pressure that comes with being a batsman to measure up to his dad,
To
because that
measure.
comparison would happen every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Every day it would happen. But I mean, yeah, it requires a certain amount of character to take that on. Maybe he didn't have it, and he's taken it to the bowling department, and he's doing really well. But I, myself would have loved to have seen him come up as a bat, just like
Yeah,
Shandapal, right? And his
yeah,
son.
it's his son. Yes.
Right, his son is actually shaping up to maybe even be better than him. Shaping up.
Shaping up, yeah,
I
to be
don't know if he's
broadcat.
gonna do it, but he's shaping up to be a little more
Um,
talent actually.
choose the film, but yeah, he looks. So his dad's got 11,000 test runs, so he's
Yeah,
gonna have to really play some good cricket to do that. And but he looks good, as you said, and he's shaping
yeah.
up pretty nicely.
If he holds his
And
head, I think he has a shot of becoming a really good opener for the West Indies.
yeah. So cricket's the other things that are going on. West Indies, the Headley Tri Series, Headley Weeks Tri Series started, Roger, and
Yeah.
surprise result. Academy beating the
The
team
academy,
in Headley, and not just beating them, it was convincing.
yeah, the academy stepping up. It's like, okay, what is going on here? What is
Yeah,
happening?
it's something that was didn't didn't expect, and there's some good scores from there's a guy called Pittman who they
Okay,
said was too much. The space was too much for the Headley players, and that's really surprising because Pittman has played, I think, one game for Guyana in the past, but he's a youngster
yeah.
who West Indies have an eyes on, and I guess he's grabbed his opportunity.
Which
And
is always good to see. I mean, my challenge, I mean, I don't know, I don't like saying it this way, but I think this is just showing us that the West Indies, the guys coming up, are they're mediocre. I think I saw that,
yeah,
that's how I see it. There's no standout from the guys that we expect to be stepping up to go into the West Indies team. We're looking at more youngsters coming up and beating these guys off, the field. So it's like, okay, we have a bunch of people. We may have 30 players out there who are good, but that is it. None that are good enough to go to the next level. So it's like
yeah.
they may have one or two in this thing here, but my expectation is the stars would have started to shine here, and
And
they're
they
not.
haven't.
They haven't. It's like,
No,
okay, what am I looking for here?
because when you look at the Headley team, you got Karen Powell, he failed.
Yep.
Darren Bravo failed.
Yep.
Kareem Hodge, who did well in the West Indies tournament, but he's failed.
Yep.
Kevin Walcott, Joshua De Silva, he got 100 in the first
Well,
inning.
he was batting. I think he's
Yeah,
solid. I mean, he's
he's
one of the
pretty
few that I
solid.
think is pretty solid. Yeah.
But what I was happy to see is a young Kevlin Anderson from Guyana. Got
Another
153 for
another
the
man.
West Indies Academy and batted well. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's some of the names you're seeing there just recycling, and as you said, I
Exactly.
don't know if they have the ability to go on, but
They don't seem
oth-
to have it, in my opinion.
they don't seem to. And gonna keep an eye on that tournament. That was the first match was played and finished. The next match, I think starts on. Is it tomorrow? Is it?
Yeah,
Wait.
I think it's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. So that next match starts. It's gonna be the team Weeks versus the Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're only playing three matches, and I'm not sure I'm happy
That's
with this kind of
it.
format.
It's too short.
Yeah,
It's
it's
too
not the
short.
best thing to do, but
Uh,
we'll keep an eye on that and keep you
I mean,
updated on that.
it's an opportunity for them to play, which I think, and to see more
Hmm.
people. So, yeah, if somebody can start shining, they may get noticed here. But I mean, yeah, it's not an efficient or effective way to recognize and find new players. I think with just three matches,
No, I don't think so at all. I think if add an academy team to the regional tournament and have more matches, that might be a better
that
solution. But
would be there. You go, there
yeah,
you go. Pick a team that you think have players that can go somewhere, and then put them
hmm,
up against the rest of the guys who have talent, and see what they do.
correct. The other series going on, as we said last week, Pakistan and New Zealand, not a lot of their players in the IPL, so they're playing T20s. Four matches played. Pakistan up 2-1 because one was rained out. The final match goes tomorrow. And then after that, they will have uh, 5 1 days as well. So they're playing a lot of cricket. So I guess they want to make sure their players are playing while the other guys at the
Yeah,
IPL.
they're not losing out. They're still
They're
getting
not
practice
losing out
time.
on that.
Yeah, for sure.
And something you don't see quite often is this test series that's going on as well. But
Oh,
that's Sri Lanka and Ireland playing a test series. The first match was one-sided, as you probably would expect.
Yeah,
591 for Sri Lanka, Ireland 143 and 168. So a big win for Sri
Sri
Lanka.
Lanka. Yeah.
And that second test goes on Monday, tomorrow night, our time. So those are the matches that are playing at the
And
moment.
you know what? I think Sri Lanka is doing what I like to see. You know what? When you get somebody who is not as good as you are, you should let them know that they're not as good as you
They're
are.
not there.
And
Yes,
they're doing that emphatically. So they're like, you know what? Listen, I'm going to put 600 on the board for you. Let's see what you can do. So I think the second game is going to be the same. Well, not the same. They probably won't
more
make
or less.
600, but it's more or less going to be an emphatic victory again.
I think so, Tony. You're correct. Some news and notes. St. Kitts to host women's CG United Super 50 Cup and then the T20 Blaze. That's the women's tournament. So they play the 3 day, the 50 over matches first, and from the 8th to the 17th, and then the T20 Blaze will be from the 20th to the 27th.
All
So
of that is going to be in St. Kitts.
all the matches are in St. Kitts. So there are 3 games per day. There are enough facilities in St. Kitts. I think St. Kitts probably have the most cricket
Uh,
facilities per capita.
wow, interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of cricket facilities
Cricket
there.
is a
So
big thing in St. Kitts.
I don't know if it's a big thing, but our facilities is. There's a thing about St. Kitts is that they don't produce the players, but they love to host.
Well, there you go.
So a good thing for the women to be able to play the 50 overs and also T20.
T20
So
is there. Yeah,
a
yeah.
long time, but they need that kind of cricket for sure.
So is it
So,
West Indians or anybody?
yeah, it's a West Indies tournament. So it's
Okay.
the regional teams, Jamaica,
Oh, the regional
Trinidad.
only.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
it's yeah, those teams are going to be playing. Other thing what happened to the women, because remember we had a camp with 17 of those women who were in the high performance camp are now accredited coaches after successfully
Yeah, I
completing the
saw that and I
foundation.
was like,
Yeah,
wow, now that is
you
cool
know,
to see.
it's
I
good
think
to see.
to get good, you got to do this. You got to get the
Yeah,
coaches to a level where they can actually make you great. So
yeah,
I'm very happy to see this.
yeah. That's very good for sure. Something we've been advocating for a long time, even when I was working with West Indies, but it's happening now, so it's better
Great
late
stuff.
than never.
Better
So
late
it's
than
good.
ever, for
Yeah.
sure.
And then this one is gonna be some debate for a while because the PCB is now proposing a hybrid model for the Asia Cup where Pakistan plays its Asia Cup matches at home and India matches at a neutral venue because the BCI refuses to allow Indian team to
And,
travel to Pakistan because of political reasons, right?
yeah, yeah.
But then Pakistan have now come out and says if we do that for the World Cup, which is played October to November in India, you got to allow the same for Pakistan. We want our games in a neutral venue. So I don't
You
know.
go, Pakistan. So yeah, you know what, this is a tricky one because it's the politics coming into the game, which you never like seeing.
Yeah, it
The
is.
game should be about the game, and yeah, but if it's good for them, it should be good for the other as well. So
Yeah,
let's see where Pakistan is coming from.
because if you know that what's gonna happen to it's like it happened with Canada some years. The last time Canada played in the World Cup, we have players of Pakistan born in Pakistan,
Hmm.
but they carry Canadian passport.
So it's yeah.
And they were refused visas until they went and denounced their Pakistan nationality.
Wow,
And
well, that's a little
even
excessive.
it was, and even then, it didn't. The team left here with at least 3 players without visas, and only after the media picked up on it and started writing that visas were issued while they were on a tour in Sri Lanka. So
Oh my, that's
it's
unfortunate.
it's very unfortunate. I mean, even if it's one player was born in Canada, but his grandfather was Pakistani,
Oh my,
so
and he's in trouble.
yeah. So
Wow.
it's really really not
It,
easy to get a Pakistan. That thing. I don't know what the full background of that feud, but that has to be over with because I don't think it's between the players. It's just the politicians.
Nothing to do with the players. It's between the two countries, and it's a
Yeah,
serious, serious thing going on between the two of them. Which I didn't know it was that bad. That
it
wow,
is. Yeah, I
affecting the
saw.
whole.
Yeah, I sat one day in a India visa office for a whole day. I
Really,
went early morning from when they opened till 4 o'clock, and at the end of the day, they just gave me back the passport and says, "Sorry,
no, can't help you.
can't help you out."
He's
Yeah,
Pakistani.
yeah.
God.
It's
Wow,
not
that's
easy.
horrible. That's
Yeah,
horrible, and that impacts the Canadian team, right? At the end of the
it
day.
does impact many teams because even look like a guy like I don't know if when in Australia we're going to India, Usman Khawaja's passport didn't come until later on because he's Pakistan born.
Oh, okay, that was it.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
Wow.
those are the little things that happen. But it's totally the US team trained in India prior to the tournament recently, and they trained without the three Pakistan players. So
Oh my. That's
it's very bad.
unfortunate. That's
It is very
unfortunate.
unfortunate. Yeah,
Wow.
no matter what,
And at this time, I would say, and not getting into politics, but I mean, this has been going on for so long that
for so many
I think
years. Yeah,
they should understand this is just about the sport and not about the politics. So,
exactly. So we need to get a move on from that. But yeah,
absolutely, absolutely, gotta move on from it because yeah, it's very sad to see though. Very,
yeah,
very
it is sad to see. So that's what's happening in cricket, Roger. But and I know a lot is happening in track and field. You're listening to Love Bay Afrobeats Talk and Music Radio, the England Roger Sports Hour, and Roger's gonna start telling you about some track because it's heating up, and I think I saw some names for today. I gotta find a way to watch that race.
Yes, yes, yes. A lot is going on as mentioned. So, the big names last weekend, we saw Noah Lyles. He won the 200 and he came back and he did the 200 in 20.16 and he came back in the 100 and won it as well, running 9.95. So it's a great way to open his outdoor season, running 9.95. Fanbule was second in 9.98 and Kendall Williams third in 10.03. Julian Alfred from St. Lucia, I think
Lucia, yeah.
as they say, the record keepers must be upset with her because every time she runs, she breaks a record.
I
But
like it, yeah.
she was back at it again. She won the 200 on Friday, 21.91, came at the Saturday, and 10.72. But the win was plus 2.4, so not legal, but it's one of the top times and under all conditions set for collegiate.
Hmm.
So the big talk now, Ingle, and I'm not sure what your thoughts are on this. Some are saying she should skip the rest of the season, save her strength, and come after Elaine and Shelley and those ladies for Worlds instead of finishing because with NCAA's they got to run almost every weekend until the championships.
Right.
So she has to think about 5 more weekends of racing if she stays in school or if she keeps running for the school. They're saying with all her credentials she can make as much money as she can right now anyway. So to save herself for Worlds because they believe if she continues this, she's not going to be
She's
fresh
gonna
enough, fresh enough
right,
for
right.
Worlds. Yeah, I don't know. Are you agree with that?
I agree with that. I think she's running a lot because every time, as you said, is every week I'm seeing Julian Alfred's name, and I can't forget the name because I have a friend from St. Lucia and never make I I hear it every day. Every time she does, I know. So, and the talk about her challenging the Jamaicans, etc.,
And
and that's
she,
going to
she
be
will.
interesting.
She will.
She will.
I'll always remember a conversation I had with her, right? Which was in Guadeloupe, middle of last year in July, and we're talking about her going pro and racing and all of that, and came up about her running and how fast she's going, and she's like, "Oh, you guys in Jamaica only support me when I'm not beating the Jamaicans." So she's coming for the Jamaicans,
Hmm.
but she's one of the sweetest ladies I've met on the circuit, and I can tell you this: she's gonna cause trouble for the Jamaicans because she has the ability to be consistent, which is what is missing with some of the big names out there, where they can consistently perform under any conditions. She has no fear. She knows them. She wants to beat them. I think
Hmm.
she's going to run 10.7 this year. She may get to even 10.6. You never know
Wow.
if she's managed properly in terms of her rest time. So she'll be very, very, very dangerous. Anybody who hates the 200 meters and run 21.9 tells you that she's in fantastic shape and she's going to set the place alight anywhere she runs this year, no matter who is in the race. She's going to be a major factor, I believe. So
Like, is she peaking? Like she's on a peaking too early? Would she peak too
that
early?
that's what people believe. But I know her coach.
Mm,
What he does, he gets her to this, and Francis in Jamaica does the same. He gets it to a point where you can. That's the consistency I'm talking about.
mm,
She can give you that 10.7 that she ran there. She can give it to you next week, the week after, and the week after. That's where she is now. So is
okay.
that is she's have enough rest to take her to the 10.6? We'll see. But I think as long as he does what he normally does, she'll be running 10.7 even in August.
Wow.
So look out
That's
for her.
and even that is phenomenal if she can run 10-7.
Yes, she's
Yeah.
going to be there. So look out for her. Some other results are Brittany Wilson, who runs for University of Arkansas. She's just tearing up the place. So her pet event is the 400-meter hurdles, and she won in 53.23, which is a world leading time. But then she came back and ran the flat 400 in 49.51 to set an NCAA 400-meter record, which was 49.58 from, I think, Mo. So if you look at it, this young lady, she's not even in it. I don't know what she's going to do this year, but if you're running 49.5, and this is
49.5.
not your favorite race, or it's not your pet race, I don't know. But she's breaking records pretty much every time she touches the track as well. So look out for her. Terrence Jones also is from the Texas Tech over there in Texas, and he ran 9.91 to win the men's 100 meters. So a new name is on the circuit now. 991 is no joke time.
991. Yeah.
You got to look out for him. Let's see how fast he goes. And the Rai Benjamin, who, as you know, his dad is Ken
Winston. Winston.
Winston, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's there. 400 hurdlers is opener. 47.74. So when he opened 47.7, I don't know what you're going to be running later on in the year. So I think he's showing that he's in fabulous, fabulous shape. And I believe, I don't know. I don't know if Warholm is the same Warholm from before, but it's going to be interesting to see if he'll be able to challenge him again and tackle that 45.9 that is out there in the 400-meter hurdles. So we'll definitely see how that one goes. And then some other races that we saw, I mean, last weekend, or last night, I should say. Abby Steiner, she opened up her 200 on the track with a fast 22.30. So a lot is expected from this young lady.
Yeah, she's been
a,
running good.
a lot is expected from her, and I think, you know what, she's going to run some fast time. And we also saw Christian Coleman, and he came out and he ran 20.11. So he's also looking good. That's his second 200 meter race that I've seen him win. So I figure that, you know, he's getting there, Ingle. You got to look out
Mm.
for him because he's a 100 sprinter who's, when he sees 200 this good, his 100 is going to be even better. So let's see how well he does. And I'm looking forward to see that 100 with all the Americans lined up. Interesting times ahead for the sprinters. One of the battles in the news and notes we have to talk about, Dingle, is, you know, track and field is always saying, we need this, we need that. Right now, there is a war of words going on between the
Yeah,
Olympic champion, Lamont Marcel Jacobs from Italy, and the second place finisher, who is now the world champion, Fred Curley from the US.
Curly, yes.
And they're going back and forth, back and forth. And I think it's so funny because Anthony Henry, as you know, Canadian, he has this little social media show, and he got Curly on there. He's always there with Justin Gatlin and Atta Bolden and all of that. So I always watch it from time to time because he's a close friend of mine. And he got Curly, and he asked him about Jacobs, and he says, "You know what? Indoor is indoor. The real dogs come out and play outdoor."
Outdoor.
So, so of course, Anson said, so is Jacobs a real dog? And of course, Curly said, I don't think so.
Mm.
I'm just going to be truthful. I don't think so.
No, yeah, yeah. I
So
saw some tweets actually from both of them.
both of them, it's like, what
Yeah.
is going on here? So I love this. I absolutely love this.
I
I
think
love
the
Jacob's response too. Eh?
oh he responded. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he came back and he says, the lion doesn't turn around when a small dog barks.
Wow.
So I ran easy today just not to scare the small dogs. So like, okay,
Yeah.
we're
It's
talking about dogs here now, but
wow.
I tell you, that was a classic response. But he said, whenever you want, wherever you want. But always remember that where it matters most, it ended like this, where I am the champion. So in
Hmm.
the Olympic Games, he was the champion, and he's telling him, remember that. So I don't know.
But they I think Kelly was talking about one on one as well. Right?
Yeah, he
Anyway.
came back after that and says, oh, anywhere.
Anyway.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Tell you, Diamond League, make it happen. I
Yeah.
want a one-on-one against him, no one else in the race,
No.
just me
Yeah.
and him.
That's not gonna
Uh,
happen though. I
no, it's
don't.
not. It's not
No.
gonna happen. But I just love it. I tell you that I just love it. I think track needs a little more of this sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't have that
It's good.
major star, so it needs the back and forth for sure.
Yeah. Good for track for sure.
Great for track. Great for track. Also, some news coming out of Jamaica. Shelly Fraser Price. She's withdrawing from her supposed to be season opener at the end of the month in
Yeah.
Botswana next weekend because of, she said, a family
Good.
emergency. So I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure what it is, or she
I
didn't
was
say more than
wondering.
that.
Yeah. She didn't say. Yeah. So I was wondering what was the family emergency. Hope it's nothing serious.
I hope it's
Just too
nothing
serious.
serious. Yeah, well, the fact that
Yeah.
she's withdrawing could mean that
Yeah.
it's
Good.
something, but
Hope it's
sometimes it
not
may not be too
too
big and she just
serious.
needs an excuse not to open her ear. But I mean, I
Yeah.
hope it's nothing wrong in her family that is taking her out
That
of
is
this.
take.
So
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, today is Velocity Fest in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
and the 100 meters lining up where both men and women, but the women one I think is even more interesting because Elaine Thompson was not on the list. She just joined the list 2 days
Right
ago.
there.
But we have Brianna Williams, Tina Clayton, Sharika Jackson, and now Elaine Thompson.
And there's a debate on not sure which page, but a Facebook page. There's a debate saying whether or not who's going to drop out.
Always. I see a
Yeah,
lot of that too. Everybody's
yeah,
saying it's not going to happen. People, and usually, I think they probably will not have Elaine race against Sharika.
Sherika,
They
right?
probably won't see that. The last time, I mean, Tina and Brianna, it's going to be interesting to see, but I think Brianna is ready to run against anybody. I think Tina probably is ready to run against anybody, but I don't know the Sharika Jackson, Elaine Thompson part about it. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see how that one is going to work out. We also have some other ones. Ramona Burchell is in there. Tatiana Pinto, who is a German, one of the few mixed Germans out there, and she's now training in Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
She's training with Shelly Ann in the same camp, so she's also going to be in the race as well. So let's see how she's doing. It's going to be an interesting race on the female side for that 100 meters. And I think Heat 3 had Elaine, Tina, and Brianna Williams to square off in that one race. So let's see if they move people around.
If they move them around, yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, people don't want to clash with people.
Not
But
yet.
I know. But there's a long conversation going on. And I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Ingle, because Elaine, double champion in the Olympics twice,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot is expected of her, but she changed coaches, and everybody feels she's on her downward spiral right now. So she started her year. She ran a 400 where she ran 1 minute something, which, she's never a good 400 runner, but her best time is 55, and she usually runs 56 or 57 when she's not running 55. Now she ran 1 minute. She
Yeah.
came back last weekend in the 200 meters and she ran 23.3. And under no
Mhm.
circumstances have I seen her go that slow, no matter what time of the season. And she actually lost the race. So a lot of people are saying she's on her way down, she's on her way out, and it's not the same Elaine, and she needs to leave the
Uh,
coach. I don't know. Are you in that boat as well?
no, I'm not. I've seen that a lot, but I think I'm putting it down that maybe something is happening with her, but I can't count out Elaine at all because a couple of
Never.
years ago I did, and then she came,
Yeah,
she
and you
came
paid
back,
for it
yeah, because she came back and won gold in both one and two.
too. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I can't count out
I
Elaine.
I don't know. I never count her out. I actually like her a lot, and I think she, in terms of how running form and all of that, I think she's almost a perfect example of how to sprint.
Yeah.
So I believe she has it. I just don't know what her coach is doing, and I think we're going to find out as she races. I think the race for me today is going to be a good indicator to see. She has not complained about injury at all this year, so it's not about injury. But the season is long. I mean, it's August
Hmm.
before they really have to go. Jamaica Trials is in July, so it's early for her. So let's see if she's just still in background. Who knows? We're gonna
You know,
find out
it's not
in a
good.
bit.
It's not good for family to be coaching sometimes.
It's well, she claims that when she goes to
Hmm.
the track, she wants to fight him. She says, it when she goes, it's just a coach and an athlete because she gets
Mm.
mad at him all the time for what he's doing to her out there. But then they
Okay.
go home and it's all good. So
Wow.
I don't know how she's doing the separation, but I think
Yeah.
there's a struggle there. But apparently he's trying his best to do what is right in his mind for her. It's going to be interesting if he has the skills to actually do what is best for her. And over time, we're going to see that. On the men's side, we still have a fast race on the men's side as well because Johan Blake is coming out and he's going to
Right.
be taking on Zarnell Hughes and Akeem Blake,
Like, yeah.
the other
Hmm.
Blake, and Julian Fort as well in the men's 100 meters. So that should be a pretty exciting race also. So the hundreds at the Velocity Fest today is going to be really, really hot. I think it starts 5 p.m. on Track Alerts YouTube. So if you want to watch it, should be there. Should be very, very interesting to see
Okay.
those 100-meter races.
Yeah.
In some other news, Ingle, and this was a shocker to me, of course,
Oh, I watched
Eliud
the
Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge.
I
Kipchoge.
watched the race and
We were both
yeah,
said we're going to watch it.
yeah.
What
It
happened
was
there?
I don't know. Did like can just missing one water make break it down? Oh, because I looked at halfway he was leading. Then he was on a 204, and but then I listened to his interview, and he said he just couldn't get his left leg lifted.
Yeah, he said that a left leg issue after 30
Yeah,
kilometers. And if you watched the race, you saw that something happened there where he just
mm,
started going back and back. So,
yeah, for
you
sure.
know, I I'll take his word for it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's the first loss since October 2020, so he doesn't
Yeah.
lose very often. And it was a shocker to a lot of people there. But to come sixth is not expected at all. But
No.
some are even talking about the shoes. So they're
Yeah.
they're saying when they started off, it was Nike shoes just taking over the world, but now the Adidas shoes. The
Oh,
Adidas went 1, 2, 3 in
right.
Boston. So are they saying is the Adidas shoes superior to the Nike shoes?
So
That's
then,
why this is called.
well, that's what they do, right? You improve on the technology, right?
Yeah.
Better.
So I don't
But
know if that's
I
part
don't
of it as
know.
well. That would be
Like,
interesting to see if that's part of
wow.
it. But that was a little surprise when I saw that.
But
But
I'm
I don't know.
surprised of Chebet saying that Chip Kipchoge was not even a factor to him because
Yeah,
he
you know
said
what?
he trained well and he said he wasn't even concerned about him. That's kind of surprising to hear him say something like that.
You know what though? Maybe he's trying to build something up, but I sort of have to understand where he's coming from. He's the defending champion and he defended his title really well.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not saying it's a disrespect to see that he's the defending champion and he's coming back and people totally ignored him. It's like he never existed. It was all about
Yeah.
Kipchoge. So I think he just wanted to hit back to say, listen, I'm here as well. It's not just about Kipchoge. I'm here.
Hmm.
So I think that's it. But yeah, I don't think he could really mean what he's saying.
No, I don't think so.
It's the world record holder who hasn't lost in like 3 years. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I don't know, man. But we will definitely see how that works out for the rest of the year. Hopefully, Kipchoge comes back and is in great shape and does really, really well. And also beats Chebet just to teach him a lesson. So we'll see.
Yes, for sure.
You know,
Uh,
in other news,
another
yeah,
interesting marathon tomorrow, Aja. Yeah, in London.
yeah, the London Marathon is
And
going, and there's a lot more talk about the females than the
yeah,
males. I know on
I
the
think
male side,
Hassan is there. Hassan is in it, right?
yeah, but she's complaining that why did I get up and decide to run a marathon?
Oh, really?
But,
So she's
like,
defeated already.
I know it's like who kicked me and told me to do this?
Yeah.
But it's going to be very, very interesting on both sides. Farah, Mo Farah, this is saying is
Mo
his
Farah
final.
is final, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to retire after this, so I hope he does well. I don't think he's going to be a factor.
Mm.
Bekele is there, and probably Bekele is going to win the race. But yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting marathon for sure over there in London, and I look forward to seeing the results in that one. It should be
Yeah, for sure.
pretty tight, especially on the female side. Over there in Jamaica, last Boys and Girls Championships, the news came out that we had over 100 foreign
Hmm.
born athletes running for over 20 different schools at the Boys and Girls Championships. And I think there's a lot of talk about, it's too many and this and that. So ISA, who is the organizing committee of principals in Jamaica, they have now made a change to the rule, which will limit foreign athletes participating at Boys and Girls Championships. So they have a quota system that if you move from one school to the other, then you can only do like two in each class. In soccer, it's like three on the
Hmm.
team. Cricket would be three on the team as a maximum. But the foreign athletes from like Kenya and other countries could get around that. So if you're coming from a foreign school, you could automatically just make the team. You didn't have to follow that rule. But now they're saying everyone has to follow that rule. So it's significant because
It
now
is,
you have
yeah.
to make a decision between somebody moving from one school to the other or getting a foreign athlete. So I don't know. I think some people are really upset about it, Ingle, that it's
Hmm.
limiting the ability and the capabilities of Boys and Girls Championships and the growth of the sport and all of that. Some are saying, yeah, some of these people are not good anyway. Why are we taking so many of them? So I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
I listened to the debate on it the other day, and I saw a few people talking about it. I didn't realize that was an issue, so it
Yeah,
caught me off guard. But then after listening about it, I realized the decision was made since in January, I think.
January. Yeah, they
Yeah,
just announced it
they
now.
just announced it now. So I think I also wondered like how do they determine which school? For example, if I wanted to run, how do I determine which school do I run for from a different country?
You know what?
Yeah.
Some of them are recruited.
Oh, they're recruited. Okay.
They are recruited because I
Yeah.
even know Julian Alfred. When she came to Jamaica, she was supposed to be recruited to St. Jago. She ended up at St. Catherine. So
Okay.
sometimes it's just how you talk when you meet with the coach who tries to get you and all of that stuff. So some reach out, but some are recruited as well.
But I think the foreign athlete is a good thing to have at a young age because,
I think so.
yeah, I think it is gives the youngsters an idea of what's happening in the rest of the world and how they can compete.
And you
So
know what they said? Jamaica sets a standard in the Caribbean.
it
So many
does, yeah.
people from across the Caribbean want to come there to be part of that for their own personal growth and opportunities. Because trust me, all these athletes that come through Jamaica, they're almost guaranteed to get big time
Yeah.
scholarships in the US, wherever they're coming from. So
Um, I agree, and I'm a big advocate that whatever Jamaican J Triple A is doing,
Yeah,
Cricket West Indies need to ask them.
they need to ask him a question.
Yeah,
Let's look up Garth and Jimmy
mm,
because they know each other. So let's
yeah,
let
they
let them have
should.
a
Yeah.
conversation. So we will see. Um, in terms of track and field, that's it for now. There was a Canadian, Ben Flanagan, who broke a 5K road record last weekend as well. So kudos to him. Good to see this guy out of Kitchener, Ontario, ran the
Mhm.
5K in 13 minutes 26 seconds, which is 9 seconds faster than the previous record by Charles Filbert Thibault,
Mm.
who ran in the race as well, but was 12th, running a personal best. He would have broken his own record, but Ben Flanagan was going faster. So on the Canadian scene, kudos to both Ben Flanagan and Charles Filbert Thibault.
Too good.
Now to your
Okay.
favorite team,
My favorite team. Not no, we're not gonna talk.
Chelsea.
Talk Arsenal. We have a little bit of time left, so we should
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
Arsenal. But Chelsea,
yeah.
yeah, next manager, right?
Yeah, they're fighting to see who's going to get it. Is it going to be Vincent Company or Mauricio Pochettino?
Pitch it,
We'll
yeah,
see how that one goes. I think it's probably more likely going to be Company, but
I
we'll
think
see how
so.
that one goes. But yeah, the big talk is Arsenal.
They're
They have
choking.
drawn two games. As we said, it's coming. Ingle. I didn't know it would come this late, but it's coming.
Yeah.
So now they're in a position where if Manchester City wins their next two games, they're going to be ahead of them. There's a big game between both of them.
The big Wednesday, right?
So what is boiling down now, Ingle, is whoever wins that game will likely
Mm-hmm.
win the EPL. So it's huge. I think Arsenal is stuttering. City is flying because, as you know, they just got through, destroyed Bayern Munich, and they're on their way to the semifinals in the Champions League. They're playing in the FA Cup semifinals as well. So they're going for a three.
They're
They're going
going,
for
yeah.
trouble, right? And
But
they're looking good.
they've got a couple of injuries, though, don't they?
Yes, yes. But you
Yeah.
know what, though? They have known how to. I mean, Guardiola has been really great at managing his team, making sure that the right team is out there, depending on who they're playing. So I think nothing is stopping them right now.
But yeah, you just have to say, definitely Arsenal is choking because how do you have to fight from
Back
3-1 down to come back with the
again.
last place team?
Exactly. They're playing Southampton, and this is what they're
Yeah,
going through. It's like
something is wrong. Yeah.
something's wrong here. So I think they're just on the choke. They're on the
The
choke
only thing,
scale.
the only thing I didn't like is don't like is what's happening in England. If you read the English papers, there's a lot of attacks at Saka.
Yeah, I
You
don't know
know,
what's going on with him. I don't
yeah,
know. He's probably the best forward out there right now, I
he
think.
is. Yeah,
And
and
I don't know why they're giving the young kid such a hard time.
exactly. And I can
He's
imagine.
phenomenal. He's phenomenal. So just give him the due that he's due and leave him alone.
Yes, for sure. And they need to do that.
Yeah, we'll see how that one goes. So as mentioned, the Champions League is coming up. The semi-final is going to see Manchester City
Man
taking
City.
on Real Madrid.
Hmm.
That's going to be a true measure of who is the real champion here. While on the other side, it's going to be the Italian Inter Milan versus AC Milan. So the Milans are going to battle there, and that should be interesting as well. But I think Real Madrid is going to be City because I don't know if Guardiola has forgotten how to win the Champions League. So I think it's going to be interesting though, for sure. And I think before we finish up, Wrexham, we always talk about these fantasy stories, and
Hmm.
Ryan Reynolds bought this team, and nobody knew about this team. Suddenly, this team is now looking for promotion, and stadium is full out every week, and
Yeah,
it's awesome to see the excitement that it has brought to English Division 5, I think it is. So, you
way
just never
down.
know. Yeah, he comes with this, and, give credit to Ryan Reynolds. He has done a lot of things, whether it's sports or acting or whatever he does. A lot of good things he's doing, and this is one of them that I think has brought energy to a no-name team that now everybody knows about called Wrexham FC. So we will see.
Just before we go, there's one news item that I saw. I don't know if you saw. There's a lawyer in Saudi Arabia calling for
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo to be expelled, to be deported from the country, because.
I,
But Ronaldo is Ronaldo.
I thought how long it's going to take for something like that to happen because he
Yeah,
likes being himself, doing what he wants whenever
yeah,
he wants. There's a lot of rules.
yeah. But yeah, but they're kind of relaxing some of the things. Like even for him, he's not married, and they allowed him to live with his partner.
I know.
Yeah, so they relaxed the rules a bit
It's like, how
for
far are they going to go with this
Ingle.
guy? But
Yeah,
yes.
but I don't think the lawyer is going to get his way and get him deported. I saw
Yeah.
another news item today saying that he may be deported, but I don't think
No,
he will be.
not
No,
even close to
they
that.
can't do that at all.
They're not going
No.
to do that. Not,
No.
I mean, the money means nothing to them, but the amount of money they spent to bring him there, and the amount of excitement it has brought into their league and all of that, too much to lose.
Yeah, too much for
And
sure.
I don't think Ronaldo knows that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
So we've come to the end. Time flies, and we come to the end of another England Rogers Sports Hour, and we'll be back with you next week. Enjoy the rest of the day. For those of you, there's so much sports you can
Yep.
watch: golf,
NBA is going on,
NBA,
and
the
NHL,
track and field.
track and field,
Yeah,
baseball.
the England Premier League games are in the second half now, so you can watch
Yeah,
the rest of those games.
for
The early
sure.
game, Fulham beat Leeds
Yeah,
2-1.
Fulham is doing well.
Yeah. So all the other games, Roger, are tied at halftime.
Yep. They always do that. And then
And
find a winner in the last minute.
in the last minute for sure. So enjoy the weekend, everyone.
Have a great one, guys. See you next week.